Three, two, one. I'm debt free. Yes. For the first time in my adult life, I am debt free. It happened about a week ago. I paid off the last payment. I paid off my car that I'm in. And I'll be 40 years old this year. And since I was young as I can remember, as a young adult, I always had debt. Started off with credit card and car loans. And then when I bought my first house, I moved out officially. I think I was around 22 years old. And once you buy a house and, even though I was making decent money for my age, once you buy a house and you have a car payment, it's very tough to ever get out of debt. Most people, it's a lifelong journey that they'll never get out of debt. So I would consider myself fortunate, thankful. Also, I put in the work. So it takes all those things. It takes intention. If I really woke up in my 30s, my early 30s, I said, Sam, I'm working hard, but I don't feel like I'm getting ahead. And I really didn't have a clear direction on finances. And so through research and listening to the radio, I read into Dave Ramsey. He helped guide me a little bit, even though I did not follow his baby steps, step for step. I put my own twist on them, but it provided some inspiration. But so tonight, what I want to share with you is 3 things that being debt-free does for me. Thank you, Buck. Good to see you. 3 things that being debt-free means to me and what it would mean to you. And I wanted to make this video, even though I've been talking about the past couple nights, I wanted to make this video to officially document it. Because even as now I'm debt-free, I'm looking at possibly getting back into debt, if I'm being honest with you, whether buying an RV or maybe buying a home base. But it scares me to think of that a little bit because I realize it took me half of my adult life to get out of debt. Do I really want to go back into it? Daddy Geek! Oh, shit, Daddy Geek, $50 super chat! Woo! Congratulations! Well, damn! Put that in the coffee fund and the savings account, Daddy Geek! Shout out to Arkansas, man! Shout out to Arkansas, Daddy Geek, and the purple Prius coming in hot tonight! Thank you, Daddy Geek, for that generous tip! Damn! Dude, redline the super chat tonight. Thank you, Daddy Geek. Thank you very much. Oh, God. What I want to share with you. Thank you, Buck. Thank you, everyone on the live chat. I appreciate that very much. Very generous. It's amazing, like, getting out of debt. And if I'm being honest with you, looking at possibly getting back into debt, it's almost like I would always tell people that get out of a long-term relationship or they get out of a marriage, I would always tell them, don't go right back into a marriage. Don't go right back into a relationship. Even if you want to down the road, you should spend some time being single to experience it. And so what I've been doing these past couple days and weeks is I've been giving my advice to myself. The best advice you need to take is your own advice. And sometimes that's the hardest advice to take. Thank you, Daddy Geek. Thank you. And so I said to myself, Sam, practice what you preach. Because I look at debt and heavy long-term financial commitments like marriage or like being in a relationship. So I said, Sam, what would you tell someone else? Always ask yourself, what would you tell someone else? So I would tell someone else who was just getting debt-free to experience being debt-free for a little bit before you would consider getting back into debt. Because how often will you get to experience this in life? Not often. Most people will never experience it. And so I want to share with you the number one thing that being debt-free, how does it feel? What does it do to me? And what would it do to you? The number one thing is that I feel in control of my life more than ever. Control of your life. One of the major themes on my channel is for people as best they can within their ability to build an independent life, to get more control of their life, physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially, so that they don't have to be on the hook to other people. And having more control over my life and not being on the hook to family members, friends, jobs. Not that I'm leaving all those things for dead, but I want to be in control of my life because I've been out of control and I've had people take advantage of you or just you don't feel independent. I watched today some YouTuber, a famous YouTuber. He travels. That's his main, he's been on YouTube for 5 years. He's got 200,000 subscribers. He's a traveler. So he's been trying to get his Juicy Jeff, $1.99 bill, y'all. Cream, get the money. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Juicy Jeff. Thank you, Daddy Geek. And Buck, good to see you. Good to see everyone on live chat. I got to get this out because I know when people watch the replay, they say, shut up, man, just talk about the subject. But I got to acknowledge that special tips, man. Thank you, Daddy Geek, and thank you, Juicy Jeff. Shout out to California. Take control of your life. But I watched this famous YouTuber. He's got 200,000 subscribers, millions of views. And he's a traveler. That's why people subscribe to his channel. That's the majority of his content. But recently, he's in his late 30s. He's trying to get his health together. Because you got to have your health to live an independent life, to have control of your life. And so he was trying to get his health together, and he was doing daily or weekly videos about his weight loss journey. And he found that people were starting to unsubscribe and not watch his videos because they say, look, we're not watching your channel to you to tell us about weight loss. We want to watch you travel. And so being that YouTube is his full-time job, he had to even though he wants to share, he's passionate about his health and maybe helping him, he couldn't be his independent self. He didn't have control because the viewers, they got control of his life, man. And I've met some great people on YouTube. And sometimes they're even a little bit better than me, where they're willing to come back after I probably hurt them a little bit. But I've also met some nasty people on YouTube. More good than bad. But what I found out is YouTube is just like life. That the majority of people are good, but the bad people really, they leave a stain in your soul. And I never want to be on the hook to other people. And I don't like when people would leave me comments oh, I don't want to hear you talking about this. I want to hear you talk about living in your car. I want to hear a video about Florida. I love the fact that I can say, look, go screw yourself. I don't want to say that. I don't want to be mean, but I want to share with you honestly. This is what I feel in my mind. You're asking me, how does it feel to be debt free? I'm telling you honestly. I honestly feel in more control. If someone doesn't like what I'm doing in my creative venture, even if I don't say it physically to him, and my mom said, go fuck yourself. I don't need you. Not that I want to be hurtful, but this is how I feel. I feel in more control. And that's the number one thing about being debt free. And even if you're not debt free, being in control of your finances, living below your means and having an income and a savings account, it's control of your life. And that's what I want for everyone. If I didn't want that for everyone, I would just do videos, what's the most views? And, so look, I think I try to be as honest as I can with you guys to give you not just entertainment, but something that is honest. This is my honest feeling. The number two thing that being debt-free does to you, it gives you hope. Hope springs eternal. Have there been times in my life where I lost hope? Yes. Yes, there has. And what do you do when you lose hope? You keep moving. You keep showing up to work. You keep going for a walk. You keep just daily good habits. Just keep doing them until you get past the depression. Keep doing them until you get past the bad economic times. Keep doing daily good habits that just keep you functioning, being productive until you get over the bad luck season. But as you keep moving in life and you try to be as productive as possible, the one thing that really helps when you're debt free is you have a lot of hope because you control more of your life. And that's what number one is, control of your life. And then number two is that kind of leaks over into hope, imagination. What do you want to do with your life? Do you want to buy an RV? Do you want to travel? Do you want to make it go rain in a strip club? I don't want to do that. But I just to know that I can. Hope. There's nothing like hope, guys. And I understand the hopeless mind because I've been there. And I share with you exactly what I do when I feel hopeless. I've made videos about it. The number three thing that I feel when it comes to being debt-free is less stress and less anxiety. And that's big for me. That's big for me. Thank you, Cameron. Less stress and less anxiety. Part of the reason I downsized my life, lived in my car, is because I did want to get more control of my life. I did want to move to Florida. That was a hope. I did want to control more of my future. And part of it was less mental anxieties to improve mental health. I don't have there's some people, and there's nothing wrong with that if you have severe problems. I'm not talking down to you. I'm sharing with you. I think we all have mental health. I think some people may have more serious issues than others. It is what it is. I'm not here to diagnose you. I'm not here to judge you. I'm sharing. But I'm conscious of mental health. And I'm conscious of what do I need to do to enhance it, to improve it. And for me, it's mitigate stress and anxiety. I think everyone, that should be a goal. I don't look at life as just the money bag. I like the money bag. But I also look at life as peace, okay, and less stress, less anxiety. Because, I could go kill myself. And that's part of the reason why, too, I stopped doing DoorDash. I like to do DoorDash. I like to know that I could do it. I mean, now that I'm debt-free, I could probably do DoorDash if I and just do that. That's all I needed and get by. I mean, again, I wouldn't be thriving. I would still need a main job for healthcare. But I could get by. I wouldn't be destitute. So just having that less stress, that's what debt-free feels like. It's a little bit surreal. Again, I've only been out of debt for 2 weeks. I'm 40 years old this year. I've been in debt since basically 17. So I can't give you like the full version. And that's why I want to make this video. And I want to definitely try to get through several weeks, even, and my goal would maybe several months before I would even consider taking on debt. Because like I would tell someone else, what advice would I give someone else? Experience being debt-free for a while. What would I tell someone getting out of a relationship? Experience being single for a while. I was talking to someone today about most people who get divorced, they get remarried or they get into a relationship within 12 months of getting a divorce. That's wild, man. Most people who get out of a relationship will enter a new relationship within 12 months. Whether you're a regular person or whether you're a superstar. Look at Nikki Bella. She divorced, she broke up the engagement with John Cena. Next thing you know, she was banging a guy with Dancing from the Stars. And now she's going to have his kid within less than 12 months. So there's something in the mind that we do have a little bit of a tough time just being still. And I'm like that because I'm a high energy person. That's why I got to really self-care in my life. Because if I don't self-care, your energy turns on you. Okay. Your energy is a powerful thing. It can be used for good or bad. You got to harness your energy. You got to focus. You got to discipline it. That's why I try to get in the habit with these live feeds, have a specific topic and have like 3 bullet points to try to talk about the topic. And then we go into all live comments, which we're getting ready to do right now because I shared the 3 bullet points. So one is I want to again say, Data Geek, shout out to you, shout out to Arkansas. Thank you for that generous tip. You've been nothing but a blessing. And Juicy Jeff, same thing, brother. I think highly of you and thank you. Buck Porter, Cameron, born in Florida, all the people on the live chat, we're going to read each and every one. My man, Luke. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the love. Now, let me roll down my windows. There's somebody bumping their car system. I can feel the bass. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the video. But the car system, loud as hell, man. I had one when I was young, so I can't judge. Take a hydration break. All right, let's go to all live comments. Let me just go to the laptop here so I can make sure I see everyone. And it's amazing, man. It's a wild day, man. It feels surreal. It feels surreal. All right, we're going all live comments. Let's see here. Born in Florida. I love you, Sam. Well, love back to you, and thank you for that positivity. Ryan B. Shout out to Utah. He gave the money out symbol. Ryan B. is a young man, lives in Utah. He left a great comment the other night. He said, Sam, I lived in a cheap apartment at one time in my life, and I got the apartment because it was very cheap. But what I came to realize is you get what you pay for. And he goes, the neighbors in the neighborhood, it was not good. And I learned that in life, sometimes you're better off spending a little bit more money for quality to ensure your environment. And I do agree with your environment matters. Like, I try not to spend time around any type of high crime area because I have the ability to move. I'm mobile. I watched another nomad today. He's a very small channel, but he got his bike stolen. Okay. And, you know, he wasn't in a bad neighborhood because I know the neighborhood he was in, but it's not the best. And, of course, my other viewer, too, Gail, she went to a homeless shelter a couple months ago in Massachusetts. She living out of her car. And when she realized the homeless shelters are crap, unless you have no other choice, she found more solitude living in her car. Now, I think she's living a little bit with her daughter now until winter ends. But what I'm trying to tell you is it's so powerful, your environment. And look, when you're debt-free, you got more control over your environment. Certainly when you're mobile. If you're mobile and debt-free, you have a lot of hope. And that's bullet point number 2. A lot of hope. And it's a blessing to have hope. My darkest times mentally is when I lost hope. Failed businesses. And just failed relationships. You know, that's how I know I got a lot of pushback on one of my videos I did the other day talking about men going their own way. It's for losers. I stand by it because, look, it's some of the principles as far as self-care is good. But even when I lost in a relationship, because I've lost, I cried, I cursed the girl in my mind when I would walk at night. But I acknowledged that I played a part in the relationship. I knew what type of relationship I was getting involved with. I took accountability. And that allowed me to go forward in a healthy manner, even when I had no hope. Because I would go for a walk. I still go for a walk. But when I had went through that breakup, I would walk every night for about 2 hours, and I would cry about an hour and a half worth of the walking. Every night for about 6 months straight. And that allowed me to move forward. Just staying productive, not blaming her. Even though, like, when I would go on my walk, I would play the whole relationship out in my mind. And she was to blame for some of it, but I knew what I was getting into. I was honest about it with myself. I was giving myself therapy. Self-care is therapy. You know, when you have to pay someone else for therapy, I'm not saying you should never do it, but basically they can never do the self-care of your life. Your therapist can never go with you walking at night every night for 6 months, you know, for an hour and a half or whatever, crying. She can never do that. Or he can never do it. You got to do that for yourself. You got to take kind of, you think these other, like, you know, trolls online and men going their own way, losers, you think like they really care about your well-being? No, they don't. They don't. Because if they did, they would tell you some real shit. Like, look, I understand that you're going through a painful thing, but you got to take accountability and you got to self-care shit out of your life. And if you want to stay single the rest of your life like I do, that's great. But don't bash women. Don't say like society's against you. Just say, look, I want to be single because it's best for me. I met some young girl today in Starbucks. Her dream is to get married. Was I bitter towards her dream? No. I mean, who am I to take her dream from her? She's got to experience life for herself. Okay. And if she decides to willingly get married to someone else and that man decides to willingly marry her, they take a risk. Okay. When you day trade, you take a risk. Okay. You start a business, you take a risk. You know, you live on the road, you take a risk. Guys, there's nothing in life you can do that's, you know, not risky. So there's going to be failure in life, guys. I hate to say it. Now, how do you mitigate failure? By living below your means, by being debt-free? Because then you can fail and you can still recover. You know, but when you got a lot of debt and stuff like that, it's hard to recover. And that's what I said. A lot of relationships are financial dependency. I know people strung out on drugs during a relationship just because of financial dependency. I know people who stay in marriages. They're very unhappy, but there's financial dependency. And being financially free and not having too much debt or having no debt gives you a lot of options. That's true. Let's continue to read live comments. Congratulations, Sam. Thank you. Thank you guys for the positive love. Born in Florida. I'm back, Sammy. Sorry for the miss. You don't have to apologize to me, but thank you. Who else is from Florida? Well, I am. Juicy Jeff. Love you, bro. Thank you, Juicy Jeff, for your kindness. Born in Florida. Juicy Jeff, do you remember me? Buck, man, thank you for coming back, man. Shout out to all my guys in South Florida, man. You stay positive, brother. Congratulations, Sam. Thank you. Me, on the other hand, 34,500 owed on my Challenger. That's all right, laughing. I screwed myself. I did the same thing. But I also got a raise. There you go. So it's fine for the refinance. There you go. Get the payment down from $630 to $530. Buck, there you go, brother. Great comment. I've been there. Again, I'm 40 years old this year. So I think you're a little bit younger than me. I don't know if you want to share how young you are, Buck. But I remember, what was I, like 32? I was 32. I just paid off my Jeep Compass. And I'd started dating again. And I was getting ready to take a step backwards in life. You know, sometimes we take a step forward and then we take 2 steps back. So I've done that. So I was just starting to get out of debt. And this is the first time, like in my adult life, I had a fully paid off car, a Jeep Compass. But I had also lost a lot of weight because I was trying to get control of my health too. And so, like, you know, some of the girls were feeling me, and there was this one Asian girl that I had an opportunity with. And I said, well, I never really dated an Asian, and I wanted to date an Asian. I want a happy ending. So I got the happy ending, but I paid for it big time. But I did it to myself. Okay. Why? Because I had the Jeep Compass paid off, and then when I started dating this Asian MILF, for some reason, out of my own doing, I decided to buy a nice car to impress her. And I leased a Range Rover, and immediately as soon as I did it, I regretted it. And then I basically, for 3 years, I had to make the payments. And she was not impressed, actually. She thought like it was a sucker move, and it was. So, guys, I've been on the losing end. I've made poor decisions. Okay. So, part of life. It sucks, but it's part of life. So just keep being productive, and you got it, brother. Daddy Geek, all I can tell you, Daddy Geek, is heart emoji to you. The maroon red super chat, you blow it out of the water, all right? So I love you. I hope you're doing well with your job, with your mental, physical health, and your goals. Measure your goals, okay? Put a timeline on your goals, and go after them step by step, day by day. And if you fall, you get back up. Daddy Geek, I love you. Keep up the camping. But hopefully all's well, brother. I appreciate you coming back, okay? Because I could be honest and say, look, there's times on YouTube where I've been a little bit rough on people, but it's very hard to be a creator, okay? And because I can't get too laxed, because when you're too laxed, I don't know what it is. The trolls come at you. It's like life too. If you go to work and you're just like too lackadaisical and you're not focused and you're not a little bit aggressive, or not aggressive, but you got to be a little bit leading. If you're not leading, someone's going to lead the show, and they're going to lead it negative. And so I have to, you know, sometimes be a little bit rough, and sometimes people get caught in the mix of that. So love to you, brother. Morning, Flora. Sammy, your smile is nice. Well, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you. Daddy Geek, love you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that. Die. Being debt-free feels so dang good. It feels surreal, meaning like I haven't grasped it. I have to go through a couple months without having to pay well, I still got to pay bills. You always have expenses, okay? I'm debt-free, but I'm not expense-free. I still got to pay for food, car insurance, cell phone bill, gas, etc. However, you know, look, when you don't have a car note, mortgage, it's a good feeling. But to be honest with you, I'm like thinking, like you get rid of debt and then you have open capacity. And then you look to fill that capacity. Like you get out of a relationship and then you go into another one because you get open capacity and it's like you want to fill it. It's like a house. You know, like I had a 2-bedroom condo. You know, for a while I didn't even use the second bedroom, but you got to put furniture in there because like you want to fill it. So in life, you know, when you don't have debt, and then that's kind of like why I didn't want to live in a house either, because I was like, I got a house just to fill it with stuff. And that's why I like minimalism, because when you don't perceive open capacity, there's no need to fill it up. So like when you're debt free, it's like now you got open capacity. You got to be careful not to just fill it up, because like human nature is plug the hole. So you really, you know, the hardest part about the simple life is the discipline to keep it simple. Now, is it wisdom to live in your car forever? Not necessarily, no. But I do like the freedom and the flexibility. And I don't know how much I truly gain by getting a home base. Definitely by owning it, I don't know. And until I feel really at peace with that, I'm not going to commit. But those are just some additional thoughts. Let's continue to read. Marcy, getting debt free is a challenge. Oh, it's a very challenge. I remember, like, you know, like I said, when I was in my mid-20s and I was buried in debt. And I was driving back, took a weekend trip to South Jersey, and I was driving back up to North Jersey. And I remember turning on the AM radio and listening to Dave Ramsey, and that was like his first baby step, which was get $1,000 in a savings account. And I was like, that was like a fucking goal. Like, even though like I was I had a nice car, I had nice things, I had nothing in savings. Okay. I was still basically living paycheck to paycheck. So like $1,000 in a savings, that seemed a lot. Okay. And I tell people your first goal should be create a budget so you know if you are in a deficit or a surplus at the end of each month. And then step number 2 is get a year's worth of expenses in a savings account and then start to pay off debt. Because you'll feel more in control of your life. And that's the number one thing being debt free does when you want control of your life and you want that hope. Born in Florida. Being single is easier. I agree. Because don't have to worry about buying things for them. That's true too. Or other things. It's your life and you can be independent. The bottom line is that, look, you get more independence, more flexibility when you're single. However, I have met people that they do not do their best being single. They do better in a relationship. As crazy as it is to me, I accept and I respect that everyone's different. Just like not everyone loves Florida. Some people love Utah. Some people love, like the people I was talking to today, their dream is to leave Florida and to live in a northern state. They want to experience all 4 seasons. So, in a mature place, even though in my mind I say, you ain't missing nothing, I don't know why you'd want to do that. But I also, because I experienced life, I said, well, Sam, you got to experience a lot of things in life. They didn't get to experience it. And everyone's different. Like I often say, like if everyone wanted to live in Florida, the world wouldn't survive. You have to have diverse opinions. So it's true. Juicy Jeff, dollar bill, y'all. Well, let's stack it up. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for the generous tip, brother. God bless you, man. Shout out to California. Juicy Jeff. The best advice is your own advice. And sometimes that's the hardest advice to take. Well, he quoted me. That's great. The best advice is your advice. And that's the hardest advice to take. Amen. Thank you for quoting that, brother. What advice would I give someone who is on the verge or just became debt-free? Experience it for a while before you acquire any other debt, if at all. The same advice I would give someone who just became single. Don't get right back into a relationship. Spend some time being single. Experience that season of life before you commit again. Good job. Juicy Jeff, fire emoji. Thank you, brother. Juicy Jeff, what a quote. Thank you for quoting it. Milano, Juicy's back. He's my guy, man. Juicy Jeff's a young guy, man. Like I say, he's going to be a star. He's just got to take some time for himself and figure out the direction he wants to go. He'll be back. Juicy Jeff, Milano, I'm back here. Born in Florida. You the best, Samuel. You the best, too. I feel like I'm in your car sitting here. Well, you pretty much are virtually next to you listening to Inspirational Message. Thank you. Richard at Daddy Geek, that was very generous. It was. She's been very generous. Sam, go have a nice meal or do something enjoyable. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Richard, and thank you, Daddy Geek. That's one of the mental hurdles that I got to get over in my mind if I ever do acquire something, because I'm almost scared to acquire something. I tell you guys often, I feel now with money the same way I felt when I got like almost anorexic, because I was obese and then I got down to like 150 pounds and I was scared to eat again. For 3 years, I was at 150 pounds. So once I started on it's been 3 years now since I've started to live this simple life, living in my car. And I kind of feel like I've bottomed out. I mean, as far as like, I've experienced the road, how I want to experience. I got to my destination. I got out of debt. So I know eventually, like, it's going to be maybe not necessarily debt again, but it's going to be acquiring something down the road. I'm going to be like starting to indulge again a little bit in life because I've been on like this very strict financial diet. And it's going to be just like food. It's going to take me a while mentally to get over the hurdle of, because like I'm scared to acquire something. That's how I feel. In one sense, it's good because it keeps me from like overindulging financially. Same thing with food. Like once in a while, I start to put on weight. But I've pretty much maintained this weight now for about a year or so. But I know I'll never go back to being 350 pounds again because I have a different lifestyle. So even if I acquire something again, whether it's an RV or a home base or whatever, a new car, I will never go back to what I was in my mid-20s. I would pray, God willing, I wouldn't. Living paycheck to paycheck in too big a house with too nice of cars. Because it's just that lifestyle is not what I want. I want freedom. I want to be in control of my life. I want hope for the future. I want flexibility. And I want less stress. Because even if I could afford something, I don't want the stress and the anxieties of maintaining it, of going through it. And that's true. Let's continue to read. Luke, what's up, Sam? Long time no speak. Well, thank you for always being a positive viewer, man. I appreciate you. Luke, positive vibes always. I gotta say, man, you've been consistently positive even when you have been going through rough times in life. And I know sometimes I give you some raw advice, and I appreciate you hanging in there with me. I do. Born in Florida says, Juicy, I go off, bro. Let's go. I'm going to get you hyped, Juicy. All right. Luke, I've been finding a second source of income learning credit repair and helping people onto eBay reselling. Okay. Richard, also, I watched that same channel. Yep. And you saw that video. I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah. You know, that's the one thing. I mean, like, YouTube is tough, man. It's a blessing, but it's also a burden. It's more of a blessing than a burden if you get monetized. If you don't get monetized, it's tough. And the toughest thing is you are sharing your life publicly. Your privacy is precious. It is. And then what's even more precious, your privacy is the number one thing you sacrifice being a YouTube. The second thing is your creativity is determined by the dollar bill. Because, you know, you can have all these creative ideas, or you just want to talk about certain subjects, or you want to block people, or you want to do whatever. But if you're solely controlled by the dollar bill, you can't really have your channel how you want to have it. So then your channel is basically like you working at Walmart. And you can make more money working at Walmart than YouTube for most people. So like I always tell you guys, the biggest thing with DoorDash, why people like it and why I liked it, because you kind of do it on your terms. Now, you still have to respect the restaurant, respect the customer, but you can call the shots more. You take whatever delivery you want and you work on your hours. So YouTube is in that pocket of, you know, I don't have to answer to a boss. However, you know, you have to like engage with your viewers. You can't block everyone. Even though I would, like, you know, it's weird, you know. I don't know, man. But I'm not saying I'm always right in every person I blocked. I'm not. I've been wrong sometimes. But to be able to do the channel how I want to do it is priority for me. And I see people who don't have that priority. And I see their creativity suffer. And I don't see the inspiration that I want to see in my own life. So that's good. I appreciate you sharing that. Milano, Sammy, the Colombian like debt free. Well, the Colombian gets you right back in debt. Yeah, the Asian MILF got me right back in debt. But it wasn't her fault. It was my fault. That's why I'm not men going your own way. I willingly bought stuff for my Asian MILF. And like, I remember when we were like basically going through a breakup season. And the first breakup never sticks. You got to break up a couple times. But I remember when we were starting to break up the first time. And she goes, Sam, do you want all your gifts that you gave me back? And I said, no. Because that's not the type of person I am. You know, I didn't want, because if I gave her something, I gave it to her. Okay. And that's not like I have a different viewpoint on life, and which I think is a healthy one, even though it's painful, is if, you know, you engage in a relationship willingly, and if you willingly give someone stuff, and if it doesn't work out, guys or girls, that's part of life, and you don't ask for that back. Or else you don't go forward. You actually hurt yourself. And, you know, that's what I could tell you. Good job. Good to see you, Milano. Juicy Jeff. Born in Florida. I'm hyped, my friend. Born in Florida. Richard, you know that vid? Cameron, I appreciate you, brother. Time to call Dave Ramsey. Cameron, shout out to you, man. Shout out to Kansas. Shout out to the guy who left a comment on my video, Is Sex Worth It? He said, Sam, I'm getting ready to invest in a $2,000 sex robot. And I said, hey, man, I'm not mad at you. It's cheaper than having a girlfriend. However, make sure it's not too much maintenance, because $2,000 robot sounds like a lot of maintenance, sex toy. And I told him I'm too cheap for that, man. Like, you know, for me, I'm gonna masturbate in a sock, man. I go to Walmart, I get a whole pack of socks, you know, for $9.99. I'm not gonna spend $2,000 on a robot. So, you know, everyone got to decide how they want to spend their money. Juicy Jeff. That's the hardest part about being debt-free. Juicy Jeff asked a question, good question. What's the hardest part about being debt-free? Staying debt-free. The discipline of enjoying either the season of your life or the forever part of your life where you no longer buy stuff on credit. I'm not going to say I'll never do debt again because I may get a mortgage, I may get an RV loan, but I don't want to do it right away. So the hardest part about being debt free is staying debt free, at least for a good season of your life, so that you can experience it and then make a determination if it's worth going back into debt. See, like if I don't experience being debt free, I can't really experience if I should ever be in debt again, because I know how debt feels. I've been in it my entire adult life. For only 2 weeks, I've been debt free. That's not long enough to determine, do I ever want to go back in debt? Like, you can't be single for 2 weeks or 2 months and say, look, I never want to be single again. You got to experience that. And most people who get out of a relationship, they're right back in a relationship within a couple months. Even if it's just a friends with benefits relationship, just banging each other. And so I really want to abstain from debt. I'm hoping for several months, but it's like, it's tough. So that's the hardest part. Luke, so you're going to jump into a new, yes, that's the problem. That's the hardest part. You're going to jump into a new RV or RAV4 or just chill for a little bit to enjoy the extra money. I want to just chill for a little bit. I don't want to experience another summer with no air conditioning. So I don't know if I'll travel up north or buy a little travel trailer that I could pull around with air conditioning or try to rig something up in my car. But I want to experience several months without debt. I can't guarantee I will, but that's my goal. Juicy Jeff, Sam Man, I'm restless. Guys, restless is good. That means you're high energy, but you have to focus your energy. What's the difference between a laser and a light? Focus. So that's why I always tell you guys, the number one piece of advice I can give you is go for a walk. That will direct and focus your energy into something productive. And that will relieve some stress on your mind. That's why it improves your mental health. And it will focus your energy and put it in a good place. Juicy Jeff, I have to walk on the beach every day. Me too. Skateboard, I agree. Well, I don't skateboard anymore, but I like your activity level. I'm screwed and hard to sleep. Guys, that's why I tell you, wake up early. Don't take any naps during the day. Be physically active. At night, you'll be out like a baby, and masturbate once per day. And if you still can't go to sleep, masturbate one more time and then put you right to bed. Born in Florida. Enjoy your Starbucks. I do enjoy Starbucks. I do. Thank you. Juicy Jeff, born in Florida. I better subscribe. Juicy Jeff, you guys, love, respect, hope, and gratitude have made all the difference in my life. Well, amen and amen die. That's a great comment. Thank you for that. Born in Florida. You should be a teacher. You and Inspirational Message are banging good vibes, bro. Let's go. Well, I am a teacher on YouTube. For a while I was a youth leader. I had a nonprofit organization. I had a radio. I do best teaching virtually because I don't like being committed to relationships. I wouldn't like having to go to a church every Sunday and teach, or go to like a school every day and teach. I like virtual relationships because I don't like a lot of entanglement. So I can share my message on here. You guys can listen if you want. If you don't want to listen, you can go watch something else. You can watch the replay if you want to listen to it again. And I can dictate like how long I want to be on here, how long I don't. And I like that control. And I like that you have that freedom and I have that freedom. We're not controlling one another. And so that's why YouTube plays to my strengths. Now, again, it's work. You have to show up consistently. And, you have to structure your topic. And you got to do a little bit of research. And you have to share some of your public privacy. What's the hardest part about YouTube? Sharing your privacy, number one. Number two, dealing with people, and sometimes irrational people, in the comment section. And number three is consistency. Because it's still a job. Even if it's creative and fun, it's still a job. Now, if you don't treat it like a job, then it's going to be a ghost town. Everything is, how you treat it a little bit. Juicy Jeff, born in Florida, get that profile pic. Redline Max, hey Sam, sending good vibes from St. Louis. Shout out to St. Louis. I appreciate the wisdom you share with everyone. Thank you. 100 emoji. Congrats on being debt-free. Well, thank you. And thank you again to Data Geek and my man Juicy Jeff for throwing me some love. That was very generous. I appreciate that very much. Did I miss? What did I miss? D Foyd 888 Super Chat 199. Debt-free is flexibility. One of my favorite words is flexibility. I like flexibility so much, I would not be upset with anyone who got it tattooed on their body, because I think it's a powerful word. So D Foyd, what I can tell you is thank you for that generous tip. And I love that you said the word flexibility. Flexibility is such an asset in your life, guys and girls, that living below your means and definitely being debt free is all part of a lifestyle that gives you more options. More options means you have more flexibility, and the more flexible you are in life, the better you are. That's true. Thank you for that generosity, man. That was very gracious of you. Juicy Jeff, Sam, at my job, they want to promote me. Well, you're a superstar. I already told you that. To an assistant. But my manager is saying, Juicy, there's no friends in business. I agree. Well, let me continue to read. Basically saying I got to be more assertive. You have to be more assertive. I remember, but you don't have to be a jerk. But you have to be willing to have people not like you. One of the first management positions I applied for, that's what the guy hiring told me. He said, Sam, I see that you have a good work history. I called your past bosses and they all told me that you're a positive person. He goes, but there's one thing I have to ask you. If I give you a leadership position, are you willing to discipline people when necessary? He goes, I'm not saying that you have to be a hard ass, but you have to have the ability to be assertive, to discipline people, because people will test you. Like I told you, doing DoorDash, what I learned is even a senior citizen tested me one night. I was delivering DoorDash, a Wendy's drop-off, spicy chicken sandwich, and a milkshake to a senior citizen's home. This lady was like 90 years old. And she tested me. Like I delivered her food on time. I gave her everything that was and more. And she was testing me. She was pushing her limits with me. And I had to check that bitch. Okay? 90 years old, I checked her. You know, like, but I didn't check her by screaming at her. Okay? Or by smacking her. I checked that senior citizen bitch by just looking at her and assertive myself and saying, look, ma'am, this is what you ordered. Here it is. And, you know, and just basically telling her, look, this is the protocol of the drop off and it's time for me to go. So my body language, my focused energy around the protocol in which my drop off parameters were and what they weren't, because that's what it is when people test you. They want to know how much you're going to do for them, how much you're not. You got to have boundaries. So Juicy Jeff, you have to be assertive, even with a 90-year-old senior or with a 20-year-old lazy person. However, you don't have to be abusive. Okay. And it's good that you're a sensitive person because you know how other people feel. But you also know that people will test you even, and that's, and yeah, if you don't have a backbone, you're going to be Bernie Sanders. Okay. You're going to be mini Mike. I like some of those guys. I'm not a big Trump guy. But you have to be assertive, guys. Like Barack Obama, I voted for him. He almost lost the election to Mitt Romney because he came in the first debate. He came like he wasn't assertive. Okay. And like Mitt Romney won the first debate when he got to be reelected. And that's why I really don't like politics, but you can learn something from politics, even from someone you don't like. And I'm not saying you got to be Donald Trump, but you also can't be Hillary Clinton, or you have to be a little bit assertive and aggressive without being abusive. And you need the Lord's wisdom, and you need some training, and you got to research, and you have to experience. You're going to fail. You know, like you're going to fail as a leader. But if you don't take that leadership position, guess what, Juicy Jeff? You're going to be getting other people's coffee the rest of your life. I want everyone to listen to this. If you don't want to take a promotion because you're scared of the responsibility, then get ready to get someone else's coffee and have them be abusive to you. Because if you don't take their leadership position, someone else less qualified, less compassionate will. So when in doubt, take the leadership position and figure it out as you go. Like I tell you, when in doubt, don't date. When in doubt, don't commit. When in doubt whether or not to take a leadership position or a promotion, take it and figure it out later. Because guess what, guys? You can always ask for a demotion. You can always find a better job once you get a promotion. But once you take a promotion, you open up a whole nother level of your career that was locked prior. You unlock your career. Because now if you take the promotion as a manager or assistant manager or whatever, if it doesn't work out, now you have that on your resume. Now you have that experience. And now you can go to other places and you can apply for it with experience on your resume. But if you never take promotions or leadership position because you're scared, your entire life you will be at the basic level. Fear holds people back from promotion more than qualification, more than ability. I know a lot of people would have, even trolls on YouTube. There's been some people that I got upset with on YouTube, not because I look down on them, but because I see their ability and I see them living below their potential. And I get so frustrated with that it upsets me. You know, but then I realize, like, Sam, I can't force people to be their best self. I have to focus on myself. And that's why sometimes I go a little bit crazy on my blocking spree, because their lack of self-confidence kind of like leaks into my mind, and their apathetic ass or their negative ass, and I can't allow that to be in my, because guys, you need all your strength, all your confidence, all your self-care to go after your best life. You know, I remember just taking my first apprenticeship electrician job. I was scared as hell. I never worked construction. I never knew what a pipe bender was, and like working construction in New Jersey and New York back in the day in the 90s, guys, whole other world, man. Like, you guys are scared like to go online, guys. So, you know, you got to do, okay? You got to do. And that's the only way to overcome fear and anxiety. Now, you're going to feel pressure when you do. So I'm not going to tell you that your mental health not going to take a hit. It's going to take a hit. But that's why you live below your means, and that's why you get out of debt, so that you can take more risk with your career and you can feel more pressure. But here's the key. When you unlock that assistant manager and that manager job and eventually a director's job, and after you figure it out to a certain extent, then you got it easy. Because I don't care what anyone tells you, the higher you go up, you have more responsibility. You're going to feel pain at times, especially in the beginning. But it's better than being the low man on the totem pole or the low girl on the totem pole. It's better. Okay? It's better. Okay? Now, there's exceptions. There's some leadership positions that are not worth it because they don't play to your strengths. There's too much travel involved. It doesn't play to your strengths. So you have to somewhat play to your strengths. Okay? So I wouldn't recommend like you go be a manager at a engineering firm if you like culinary arts, okay? But like, you know, if you like culinary arts and they want to give you a promotion at Taco Bell, take that fucking promotion, man. You understand what I'm saying? So kind of stay in your pocket. But if you're young, just figure out your pocket. And the only way to figure out your pocket is to work construction, work corporate, work creative ventures, work nonprofits. In the beginning of your life, you got to figure it all out. You got to go out there and just bang against the walls. It's like we used to do a bumper lane bowling. Like at midnight, we would go to the bowling alley and had a bumper lane bowling where like they filled the gutters with like bumpers, and you would never have a gutter ball just bounce around. In the beginning of your career and your life is like you got to try stuff and bounce around a little bit, figures what works, what doesn't work. Then you got to focus your energy after you kind of figure out what works. But get credentials, get your work experience levels up, because then you can call more shots. That's key to life. Marin, $2.99 super chat, and a guy giving a thumbs up all the way from the west coast of Florida. Shout out to the Gulf of Mexico, and shout out to the beautiful Marin sending me those negative ions. Blowing that sweet negative ion all over my body. Thank you, Marin. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for all your generosity, guys. Daddy Geek, Juicy Jeff, D. Floyd, and Marin. So gracious to me. I'm taking a hydration break. I hope these videos help you guys, and I'm thankful for your help. I'm thankful. Thank you, too, for everyone who clicks that thumbs up. Thank you. Redline Max. The more I learn about money, the more I'm shocked how the topic of money isn't taught or talked about in school. I agree with this. At least at high school level, I totally agree. I think in middle school and high school, beyond like math and algebra, needs to be a steady course every year of your middle school and high school years, a course on just budgeting. Just budgeting and simple money principles of life, of living below your means, of basic things in life. However, the good part about the internet, guys, is that the information is now out there. Like, back in the day, they didn't have information on, oh my God, Marin, 1999, we're on fire tonight. Thanks for being you. Whoa, damn it, is that a guy doing a maraca? Guys, we're on fire tonight, man. I'm sweating my ass off. Thank you, Marin, for that generosity. Damn it. Tell Mini Mike, man, to take a seat. We're on fire tonight. Whew. Thank you, guys. You're being generous to me. All I can tell you is thank you, man. I don't know how many times I can say I'm appreciative. I really am, man. I'm trying not to, I'm very thankful. I'm not pandering. I'm speechless. You guys being generous to me. Thank you. Thank you very much. But Redline Max, you're right. But the good news is that, just like 10 years ago, I didn't know about RV life and van life and living mobile. YouTube helped me learn about that. And I didn't know about money until I listened to AM radio and I heard about Dave Ramsey. He helped me. I don't follow him word for word, but he helped me. So there is a principle of life that even if it's taught in school, thank you again, Data Geek. There is a principle in life that even if it's taught in school, the wise man or the wise woman has to seek. S-E-E-K. You have to seek. There's a scripture that says, seek and you shall find. Because I knew plenty of people that would go to church every Sunday. All the information would be there, but they wouldn't seek their own personal level of enlightenment. And they suffered for it. They kept repeating the same things. So I will say this to be fair, especially now with the internet and all this information out there, is that if you don't seek, you'll never find. There's a level of personal responsibility and energy that you have to put into your life. I believe in social programs. I believe in community and helping one another. But I do also believe in personal accountability and responsibility. You have to balance them out. There's no way you're going to live your best life without taking a level of initiative and a level of assertiveness into your own life and building your best life. You're not going to do it. So I want everyone to remember that. Good job. Milano. Sammy, the Colombian liked that free. Oh, yeah. So she asked for more money. Well, hey, I told you the story about the Asian MILF, but I did it to myself. I love all, look, guys, I like being single, but I love to flirt with my Starbucks baristas, too. Juicy Jeff. 2K sex robot. Hey, I wasn't mad at him. Cheaper than dating. Yeah, it's cheaper than having a girlfriend. That's true. Hey, look. Hey, guys, I mean, shout out to all my women out there, but it's true. It's true. That's true. I'm not going to lie to you. D-Foyd, $1.99 debt-free is flexibility. Well, damn it, D-Foyd, thank you also for your generosity and for your viewership. And I love that word, flexibility. I think it's a wise, wise word. Juicy Jeff, where's the chat at? Support this guy, you lurkers. Thank you. Tomasco, I'm not lurking anymore. Well, thank you, man. You guys very supportive tonight. Now, I'm appreciative. Maggie, hey, Maggie. Juicy Jeff, you're right. I'm lurking. I love you, Maggie. And shouldn't cause Sam deserves all my respect. Well, one is thank you for that compliment. But look, I do believe in grace, meaning that we don't deserve all the good things and we don't deserve all the bad things sometimes happen to us in life. Now, I believe you got to put in the work. I believe the more work you put into your life, the better your life could possibly get and the more luckier you get. But, again, we're all human. We all fail. But thank you for that grace. And this goes, respect you, Sam. I'll respect back to you. I listen to every word, even though I may not comment a lot. Well, thank you. I appreciate that heart emoji to you, Maggie. Juicy Jeff. And Maggie, it's true. Comment and say what's up at least. Thank you, Juicy Jeff. See, Juicy Jeff, because you're a creator. Now, you're taking a sabbatical, meaning you're taking a break because you have to self-care and you're going to build your career. Juicy Jeff, take your time and build your career, and YouTube's secondary priority, not top priority. But as you're learning, see, that's why I tell everyone, too, it's good to be a business owner and an employee and employer because you understand the dynamic. See, Juicy Jeff understands, it encourages the creator, when there's positive feedback and vice versa. And again, I do apologize. There's some people I blocked, probably I shouldn't have. Because sometimes, good people get caught in the bad energy of people, who just throw comments out and they're crazy. But, look, it does help a creator to hear, to get positive feedback. It's true. Juicy Jeff, thanks, man. I'm not scared. I'm taking it. Like I said, you're a superstar. Now's the time, man. Go after your best life. You got to go after it. Maggie, Juicy Jeff, sometimes I need to kick in the butt. Yeah, we all do. Like, and that's what I tell you guys. Look, I don't want to kick anyone physically, but spiritually, mentally, energy level wise, sometimes my videos, they're an hour or less. I'm getting out in a passionate way a message. So sometimes they kick you in the ass, but it's not to hurt you. It's to motivate you, okay? And if it's too rough, and I know how it is when you're going through a bad time in life, sometimes we don't want to hear rough talk. So just turn it off, because I don't want to manipulate people if I, but like just for me, when I was getting my health together, I listened to a guy, Ultimate Warrior. He would be intense, maybe screaming and it helped me. So, it's true. Born in Florida. What goes around comes around. Life is life. That's true. And I believe in the grace of God, that sometimes we don't deserve as good as what we get, but we got the grace of God. And sometimes we don't deserve as bad, and that's when we have to pray for the grace of God. So I do believe in grace above everything else. Tony, just signed in late. Tony been very positive. Daddy Geek, she blew it out of the water. Everyone is blew it out of the water, and I just thank you for your generosity. Marin, and Marin, she's been great, man. 3 palm trees, a lot of hydrations, and palm trees in love. Marin, you've been with me for a long time, and you put up with some stuff, because I know sometimes that can be rough. All I can tell you is thank you. The gratitude is oozing out of my ions. Born in Florida. Juicy Jeff and Sammy deserve to be millionaires. Well, guys, if I become a millionaire, man, you're going to see some passion, man. It's going to get wild, man. I don't know what I'll do for the live feeds. It'll be crazy. Born in Florida. It's hard out there. That's true. Now, guys, look, bottom line is I'm debt free for the first time in my adult life, but I'm also still living in poverty. As far, like I'm living in the street, I'm living in my car. So I see people that really struggle. They just don't have it in them to do. But however, I do see people like they're not being assertive in their life. They're not working. They're not going after it. So some of it's self-induced. Some of it is mental problems. Some of it's drug problems. But look, guys, if you live below your means, even if you do basic stuff like DoorDash, Uber, or Walmart, I'm not going to say you're going to live this great life, but you can live an independent life. If you live below your means, you can live an independent life. And that's, to me, the best life, man. Oh, it's powerful, man. Marin, thank you so much for your gracious super chats. Thank you, Marin. Marcy, that's so true. You won't know or grow if you don't take the opportunity, good job, to find out what you can do. I'll never forget, I was questioning and scared to take a job promotion. And I asked everyone what they thought. And I asked my mom. And my mom said, Sam, I worked basic jobs. She worked after my parents got divorced. My mom worked at a supermarket part-time at night. Then she worked at the school system part-time as like a lunch aide and as a secretary. And then like after about 10 years doing temp work, she got like a job as an executive secretary at a Prudential insurance company in Newark, New Jersey. And she said, Sam, when I worked in Prudential in Newark, the one manager that was above me she liked me, and she liked my mom because my mom wasn't a rocket scientist, but she showed up every day and she was a positive person. And she goes, this one manager wanted to take me with her to this new department they were getting ready to open up. She goes, Sam, but I was scared to do it. She goes, because, I've worked, from the bottom up. I haven't been in the corporate life. I don't really know a lot of stuff that these other people know. And I said, Ma, don't matter. Most people are winging it. That's what I figured out. But she goes, I was scared to take this promotion. And she goes, because I was scared, I stayed at the comfortable job I was at. And she goes, sure enough, 8 months later, they laid off my entire department. And she goes, if I would have took that promotion, not only would I have not been laid off, but I would have been making more money and still been working. And that was one of the things that encouraged me to take the promotion. Because once you unlock the next level of your career, you never go back. And even if you go back, you have a level of experience that will always propel you forward, even if you fail. So go after it, guys. Never forget it. Born in Florida. Sammy, tell all your haters to suck it. I'm sorry, you have to deal with so much haters. Sammy, you don't deserve haters. Well, thank you for that positivity. Now, some haters, I brought it on myself, okay? The majority, the majority are unfair. They have mental issues. Some got caught in my anger of them, and I probably were on. I have to be fair. There are some people I've been unfair to, but for most people, no. But then, like, what I thought about today when I was thinking about the trolls was, I said, Sam, it's like yelling at a handicapped person. You know, sometimes when I'm going to do a whole video on this. Sometimes when I yell at the trolls or I get mad at them, it's like yelling at a handicapped person. They can't help themselves. They're just mentally handicapped or whatever. And, oh, shit! Gloria! 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 That's the song. Gloria! Gloria! Gloria, give me a super chat. $20 super chat. Damn, we're on fire tonight, man. Oh, my God, we're on fire. Gloria! Gloria, Gloria. She goes, Our Lady's Old Lady Lurking. Not even a nomad, but I still find value in Sam's ideas. Thank you. Help me deal with the deaths of my husband. Well, God bless you for that. I understand. Death of her husband and son via self-care, frugal living. Well, Gloria, thank you for sharing. I know you've shared that and you've been generous to me. I see you at the times on the PayPal and sharing your story. Thank you, Gloria. And love and respect to all the people who've lost a spouse, who've lost a child, or dealing with children. Being a parent is the hardest thing. Dealing with death is one of the hardest things. So, Gloria, you helped someone tonight just by sharing your life journey. And keep the faith. What I tell everyone out there is, at one point in my life, I was religious, and I'm thankful I got into church because faith is part of life. But do whatever you want, even if you're atheist. But I always tell you, even though I got out of religion, I always kept the faith. Because to take a job beyond what you feel is your potential is faith. To get over the death of a husband or a child, or dealing with a drug addict child, the only way you can keep your sanity sometimes is have faith. Now again, faith without works is dead, but you need faith, guys. There's no way I would be where I'm at today with my health, my finances, and my mind without faith. Again, I put in the work, but I also value faith and grace. So what I could tell you, Gloria, is thank you for your love and your contributions and for sharing your testimony, sharing your story. I remember there's a scripture that says people overcome by two things, by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. Now, the blood of the Lamb meant the sacrifice of Christ, which means like the grace of God. And the word of their testimony, meaning people sharing their life experiences, how you overcome. And again, am I religious but I believe in that. For me personally, I think that's a powerful scripture. And I love it. See, Gloria's an atheist, and I respect that, and I stand for equal rights. That's the First Amendment Constitution. The First Amendment right in the American Constitution is you can believe in any religion or no religion. And I stand with all my atheists and all my other religions. But I always tell you guys, I don't pander. I believe, for me personally, faith, for me personally, plays a big part in my life. Okay. And Gloria says she's an atheist. Love you though, and appreciate all your posters. I appreciate that. And that's a blessing. Just that, we could both share our journeys. And thank you. That's all I could tell you is thank you. Now, let me take a hydration break, guys. It's crazy. Man, this is a wild night. Thank you, Marin. Thank you with the Morocco guy. It's unbelievable night. Juicy Jeff, holy crap, it's crazy. Tony, very nice, Marin. Ziggy, yes, thank you. Juicy Jeff, Sam, give it a few months. Yeah, what should you do if you become debt-free or newly single? Give it a few months to experience. Amen. Tony, Sam may retire tonight. Well, I always tell you, I didn't vote for Donald Trump, okay? But I respect it. And if he comes in his super chat and he super chats me $50 million, I may vote for him in 2020, okay? So what I can tell you is this, guys, okay? Just like I believe in equal rights for anyone out there, any religion, any sexuality, I also believe that if Donald Trump super chats me $50 million, I may vote for him in 2020. Don't be mad at me. Can my vote be bought? No, guys, look. I didn't. Yeah, we'll see. Juicy Jeff, laughing. Daddy Geek. Great job, Marin. Born in Florida. Marin, going off tonight. Marin, unbelievable. Born in Florida. If you don't seek, you'll never find. That's what helped me. That is such a great quote. I got it from the Bible. It's true. Again, for me, that's part of the faith that helped me. I believe that was in the book of Matthew. And again, there's some bad parts in the Bible, so I'm fair. There's some parts in the Bible I do not agree with, and I've seen people really hurt themselves with. But for me, one of the good ones was, seek and you shall find. That's what Jesus was quoted as saying. So for that one, I believe in it. My own personal experience, Ivan. How those baristas been, man. This is why in one sense being a nomad is better for me than having a home base. Because if I had a home base, I wouldn't be as social. And I'm a loner. You guys know that 99.9% of the time I spend by myself willingly, because that's how I like to live. But you need some social interaction. So for me, when I go to Starbucks every day, that's when I have social interaction. And I like to talk to my baristas. I like to flirt with them and, respect them. And now, and that's the thing. Like if I had a home base, I would still want to do that because that fulfills a social need without the entanglement of a relationship. And I love Starbucks, man. To me, Starbucks is nomad's best friend. That's true. And they always change because they're young. So they're in college, right? So in a couple months, they'll be get ready to go to college, and then a whole new batch of baristas will come in. I got a bunch of new girlfriends. I love Starbucks. Born in Florida. You need to be popular is true. Best Sammy. Daddy Geek. Good luck, Jeff. You got it. So you make the most while you're young. Daddy Geek knows. Daddy Geek built her career, IT, and what I could tell her, and she had to deal with a nasty manager. So what I could tell you is, if you don't take the management position, you may have to deal with a nasty manager. But if you become the manager, you control the environment more. So take hold of your life. Good advice, Daddy Geek. Juicy Jeff. Thanks, man. I'm trying as hard as I can, Daddy Geek. Marin, aka Ziggy. Yeah, I gave the asteroid emoji. Fire. I'm proud of you, Fire. Like Chosen Family. Well, what I could tell you is, I love the positive Chosen Family on YouTube. Snow Dog, my man from New Jersey, living full time in his vehicle. Hello, Sammy. Just wanted to ask how you been. Well, Snow Dog, just asking how I've been is a blessing from the Lord, brother, because I remember you from a while ago. So shout out to you, been doing good. How are you doing, man? Have you healed from the divorce? Are you still living full-time in your car in New Jersey? How are you, man? Thank you. Marin, a.k.a. Ziggy. A lot, all caps of us, have been here a while. Yes, true. And I'm proud of everyone who just tries. Amen. Life takes courage. Amen. I get how people check out of life. I do. And that's why sometimes I do struggle. I know some of my videos are intense. They're like the Diablo hot sauce at Taco Bell. They're intense. And I know that when you're struggling in life, sometimes Diablo hot sauce is too much. You want mild sauce, if any. So, but I also know that there's a part of life that you have to be intense and assertive to go forward. So just remember, guys, that I'm an intense guy. But it doesn't mean I walk around like that all the time. But in my videos, there's 24 hours in a day. If I do an hour live video, that's only like 1% of the day. I let out the intensity to show you a mindset to a philosophy of life to push forward. Okay? That doesn't mean that all you eat throughout the day is the hot sauce. No. It just means I'm giving you the the power, and then the rest of the day you balance it out with other stuff. Good job. Gloria, all I can tell you is thank you and love to you. And you keep pushing forward one day at a time. Well, I never forget. I shared this story with you guys. I was walking, when I lived in New Jersey in my condo community, there was an older guy there. He was a professor at a college. And I was, younger. I would ask him questions. I said, let me ask you this. What was the hardest part of your life? And he said, Sam, well, if I had to say the one hardest part of my life was when my son was born and he was born with a learning disability. He goes, I'm a professor. My wife is a psychiatrist. So we're both very educated. And it was our dream and our hope that our child would grow up and be in the educational field. So when we had our child and when we realized he had a permanent learning disability, it took our hope. And it was hard. And I said, well, how'd you deal with it? And he laughed. And he said, Sam, it's like you deal with anything else in life. You put one foot in front of the other, one day at a time, and you keep pushing forward. And that's what I tell anyone. If you lost your husband, if you lost your job, I don't minimize your pain. But what I have learned in life is if you stay down, the world will keep kicking you. So when in doubt, get up and just keep being productive and get through one day at a time. Very true. Gloria says he's just an old lady lurking, a positive person. Not even a nomad, but I still found value in my ideas. Thank you. Help me deal with the deaths of her husband and son via self-care and frugal living. Self-care and living below your means is a blessing from the Lord. Thank you, Gloria. Tony, woo, Gloria. Yeah, even remind me of that song, Gloria, Gloria. I don't remember that song, but it was a good one. Juicy Jeff, bro, it's crazy tonight. Juicy Jeff, don't buy too soon. Well, amen. Tattoo that on your forehead. Marin, hearts all to Gloria. Marin, Daddy Geek Heart. Gloria, I'm an atheist. I love you. I love you too. And appreciate all your posts. So, hey, let me tell you something. I'd rather be friends with an atheist than some religious nut jobs. I will be friends with anyone who is similar to me and we have reciprocal love and respect. And you should look at life not through a religious perspective or racial or sexual. You know, that was Martin Luther King's dream, right? Like that one day people, now will it ever happen? Now, well, we have gotten better. That people look at each other through the content of their character and if they vibe, basically. And I think that was a worthy dream. And I think it has bared fruit. I mean, I think society's gotten better. Are we perfect? No. But I think it's a good goal. Juicy Jeff, this is one of the best channels on YouTube. Well, thank you. Never forget it. Thank you. I appreciate that. More Florida. Gloria going off tonight, man. It's fire emoji. Thank you, Gloria. Gloria, not mad at me. Thank you. Born in Florida. Going off meaning happy, fun. Explosion tonight. It was asteroid emoji tonight. Tomasco. Yes, Jeff, you are right. It is top quality channel. Thank you. Because Inspirational Nomad has such a sharp mind. Thank you. Grace of God. And shares his valuable wisdom. I'll do the best I can. And experience with. Thank you, Tomasco. Woohoo, my love. Hey. Good evening, Sam. I'm a Trump supporter. I'm not mad at you. And I like you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Tony. Now, look, again, if any Trump supporters out there and you have Donald Trump's ear, I want you to call the White House immediately. And I want you to tell them, look, Sammy said if you need one extra vote, come on his live. He's super chat $50 million, right? And guys, look, it's possible I'll vote for him. Tony, that's what gets great about, that's what's great about the barista, Sam. I love him. You keep getting older. Yeah, I'm getting old, guys. It's true. And they keep staying the same age. It's the gift that keeps giving. But see, I couldn't handle baristas when I was in my 20s. Like, if I was in my 20s, I would be flirting with the baristas. I'd be telling them, like, I'm Donald Trump's executive assistants. I'd be buying a fancy car, trying to impress them. So part of your youth is, like, there's an expression that says youth is wasted on youth. Now, I've always been a little bit mature for my age. People always used to say I had an old soul. However, you know, I've definitely been immature. And as now I'm 40, I'm middle-aged. You know, I deal with women differently because I'm not trying to impress them. I'm trying to actually just vibe with them. And if we don't vibe, I'm not driven by lust because I masturbate regularly and I realize that that's not what you want to base a relationship on. So like now, my conversations with the baristas, even though it's a little bit of flirting, it's not like sexual predator. It's not like I'm trying to impress you. It's just like, you know, we're just vibing, having a little fun because I'm at a mature place. It's true. Juicy Jeff, Daddy Geek, sorry, don't even mean to seem sexist. Nothing but respect and much love. Juicy Jeff, shouldn't assume. Born in Florida, me at night, binge watches Sammy's lives. Well, thank you. Juicy Jeff, girl are the best. Redline Max, born in Florida, same. Thank you, Redline Max. Ryan B, Starbucks girlfriends for the win. Hey, guys, non-commitment relationships, they melt my heart. That's true. Tony, I came home tonight with a high amount of frustration and anxiety. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. But 20 minutes into this live feed, yes, I have become quite calm and relaxed. Good job. Well, Tony, you deserve it, brother. We all the grace of God to you because you've been nothing but positive and loving to me, brother, and I want the best for you. I do. Guys, look, even people that I blocked and I don't like, I don't want to see anyone suffering. I don't like that. Snow Dog, I'm still in my van. Good. You're a fighter, man. You're still in your van, New Jersey, and pushing through the moving on pain of divorce. It'll take a few years, but you're getting there. But I'm still alive, Sam. You're a fighter, man. What can I say? You can say that you're a fighter, and I believe in you, brother. I love you. Forgive me for saying the name wrong. Farhan Ali. Thank you very much for the inspiration. Well, thank you, Ali. I appreciate that. Daddy Geek. Jeff, it's all good. Much love back to you. Ali, that's absolutely right. Thank you. Juicy Jeff laughing good. Born in Florida. Don't beat on yourself, Sammy. You are not getting old. Why? I like getting old. Your haters are getting old. Well, guys, I embrace getting old. Now, I don't want to get, certainly you don't want to get to the point like where you don't have independence, but I don't, look, I don't want to live forever. I mean, I'm not going to, if I want to live a good quality life. But in my opinion, if you live the right way, the average life expectancy is long enough, so I just, but I'm thankful. Look, 40 years old, I'm thankful to be 40. I wouldn't want to go back to being 20, but only because I lived a full life. And I've experienced a lot in life, and I've been very fortunate. I'm very thankful. Daddy Geek, I want to be like Sammy if I ever grow up. Well, yeah, could you be like you? You be like you, Daddy Geek, because I saw the purple Prius, I saw your videos, and I saw your mindset. Your mindset, okay, of the advice that you were giving in your videos is all about pushing forward. So that shows me that you're a leader, you're an independent person, but you're also a loving person. And you got everything it takes to just be magical, because that's what you are. Affinity 1999. What's up, Sam? I hope you're having a great night. All I could tell you, brother, and thank you for all your comments, is that I'm humbled tonight. I hate to pander, but I'm sincerely thankful. You guys have been very gracious to me tonight, and I'm thankful. That's all I want to be honest with you. Daddy Geek, to Tony. Ali, hey Sammy, I like your attitude about life. Well, thank you. Daddy Geek's laughing. I just turned 52 this month. Daddy Geek, all I could tell you is there's a lot of guys out there, or girls, or whatever you like. What I could tell you is this: 52 is still a good mode, because you still have a lot of years that you can do a lot of things. And the main thing is, whether you're 52, 82, or 22, this is what I want to tell everyone out there, no matter what your age. Self-care. Eat well, live well, indulge a little, live below your means, and seize the moment of your life. Because whether you're 52 or 82, you will never be younger than you are today. So live with urgency. Live responsibly, but live with urgency. Never forget it. Worthy site is being debt-free new. For me, this is my first time ever in my adult life. So for me, it is. For some people, maybe they lived debt-free their whole life. I haven't. So I can only share my experience. But I'm happy for people if they have. Born in Florida. Me, the Replica Club, Sammy. Juicy Jeff. Bro, thank you so much. Sleep well, my friend. Well, you too. Daddy Geek, I'm a kid at heart. There's a lot to be said for a childlike spirit. You keep it up. Angel. Hey, Sam. Congrats on being debt-free. Thank you. Thank you to everyone for your gracious love. I hope this video helped. Again, thank you for all the love. And what does debt-free feel? What does debt-free feel like? It feels like newly being single. What advice would I give someone else? Experience being single for a while before you get back into a relationship. Experiencing being debt-free for a while before you get back into any debt, if you even want to get back into debt. So that's what I would tell anyone. That's what I'm going to tell myself. Thank you, everyone. Peace and love. Have a great night.